Cotton?
Bob Moses, Charlie Cobb was here, I think Charlie was here. Deion Diamond, and I think Marion was here for a period
He
of
was.
time, Marion Barry. So these people just actually just taught us classes. You know, we had classes at the Masonic Temple and at St. Paul Methodist Church until we got in Campbell College.
Dr. Brock, I understand the nature of the times, you know, that you live in, you know, during that period. But I'm interested in, what were your personal views about race segregation? I mean, did you think that it was something that was good, or did you see need for change, or?
No, I knew it was wrong, but also I knew that, whether that Red Hefner, he used, in my image, he used poor judgment. This was a white man that he brought to his house on a social event. It wasn't about race, he was trying to be nice. But it just, he should have met him somewhere else. He shouldn't have brought it to his home, you know, anything like that. Let me give you an example. When I was in the Army, I was stationed at Augusta, Georgia, at Fort County, right outside. And anyway, Camp Gordon. And we had an orthopedic surgeon, a young black man with his wife and 2 children, came in to the hospital. And no place on the base, it was all full. So he had to go in, it was some 20-minute drive into Augusta, Georgia to find a place to live. He couldn't find any place because Augusta was completely segregated. He had to go to what was acceptable for black people to do. And he wouldn't put his dog out there, much less bring his wife and his children out there. And I had a wife and 1 child, and I had no problem whatsoever finding a place to live. I couldn't say anything. I felt sorry for him. Nothing could I do. It wouldn't do any good. You couldn't buck what was going on.
So you knew there were certain lines that you couldn't cross either?
You on base, there was no problem because it was completely desegregated.
Right.
I mean, you didn't get out of line at all. But when you got out in the civil community in Augusta, Georgia, that's deep south.
You ever seen any personal, having any personal accounts of anything involving the Klan in Macomb?
No. No, I managed to kind of keep, I was trying to keep my wife and my daughters away from it, you see, for that part.
Dr. Rock, you started talking about the 4-way test, but I'm not sure you finished. Could you tell the story about what you did with the 4-way test at that time?
All right, from Rotary International, I got a little disc plaque. That you put on, had it written down on there. I ordered enough for every member of the Rotary Club to have one, and I sent one to the ministers of the major churches in town. I sent it to the Board of Supervisors of Pike County, the City Board of Macomb and Summit and Osaka, and I sent it to Chief of Police, the Sheriff, and major churches, asking them to practice what the 4-way test said and display it prominently where they work. That part of it, and try to live by it. And now, the Rotary Club in Macomb we got national recognition by Rotary International for having done so. So we got a little publicity from that concern. But that in conjunction with, it let people know that we were outspoken that we wanted to abide by that. This was our town, and we believed that every person had the same rights as the next person.
So this was in 1964?
1964.
Did you see, after y'all did that, did you begin to see the shift?
Well, that's when that's when the bombings occurred, and that's when the newspaper advertisement came out, and also the person that's doing the bombing were found, and the judge put that order on. He said, and so whoever those 3 boys had, their group, the word spread around because there was not a single bombing after that. There'd been 16 there in just a very short period of time all over the county. And not a single bombing occurred after the judge did that. And those guys, they didn't go to prison because they were out on parole. But it did some good, and that was the change that took place, and things began to heal.
Now, as a physician during that time, were you allowed to treat African Americans?
Yeah. I
And
did.
did the medical care treatment that they received, was it different from?
No, it's the same. I often spoke to people who work, and and I did general surgery a lot of times. When you open an incision in the abdomen, for instance, they're going to take the appendix out. Well, what you have, and you bring sterile material up in there and clamp around in. Unless you looked over the screen and looked at that person's face, you don't know whether they were white or black, green or yellow, because you didn't see anything. Everybody is exactly the same on the inside once you open it up.
But my concern was, the question was because there was, as she was saying, there was a waiting area for the blacks and colored, whatever they're calling them, and infirmary for the whites. That's why I was wondering if there was a difference between the medical care.
They got exactly the same. They got exactly the same treatment. Now, of course, they were segregated. And now, when we desegregated the hospital, then I'll tell you briefly. It was one of the most embarrassing, I guess, in a way. I had a prominent white man. I went to his house at 3 o'clock in the morning. He had a real severe stroke, and he was what we call desegregated. And in fact, that stroke, just like you had taken a knife and cut his spinal cord in half and separated the brain from the rest of the body. Well, that was the condition I found him in at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I told his wife, he's not going to live, but we're going to take him to the hospital and keep him comfortable. Now, when I got to the hospital, the hospital ended in a few months, we had desegregated. What used to be the colored male ward, there was one bed vacant in that ward, and that was the only vacant bed in the entire hospital. There wasn't but one, and it happened to be in that 4-bed ward that used to be for colored men. Well, I had to put that man in that bed. That's where he was. He was white. And we were right next to him. And Macomb Infirmary is where McDonald is now, the big Baptist church down in the corner. Well, I knew the Baptist women were going to start coming visiting. As soon as daylight came, they were going to show up. And I was going to be faced those old women. Why did you put that man up in that like that? I knew that I was going to get him. So, but he got, incidentally, he died about 1 o'clock that same morning. And, that was, and certainly I wouldn't have put him in there, but that was absolutely the only bed in the hospital to put that man in.
I have one more question. How would you view your colleagues' medical treatment? They may not have the same, more things or ethics as you had for all race. How did they respond to African American treatment versus the way you handled your medical?
I don't think, I had some of the best friends in the black community with the other. They were loyal, they were appreciative. They come up to me this day and thank me. We had a girl work in the she overheard me talking about something. It turned out that back when the hospitals were segregated, my dad had went up into Berkeley and made a house call in the middle of the night. The woman had a tubal pregnancy. She had a pregnancy that occurred out in the tube. And he discovered it, brought her to the hospital, operated on her, and removed it and saved her life. And of course, that was before this woman was born. If he hadn't done that, and the patient got well and had 4 children, one of them happened to be this woman who worked in the Campfire Journal. She wouldn't have been there if my dad hadn't gone up there and brought that woman back to Macomb Infirmary and operated on her in the middle of the night. And it didn't make any difference. She got exactly the same care that anybody else would. I think they were just appreciative. And we all were. always treat anybody with respect. God's true. But generations are different. My dad had different ideas about it. I tried to desegregate the dining rooms in the Macomb firm, and he wouldn't let me. And he said, and he was the kind of guy you didn't go ask him twice.
Back to that, like you took the full page ad out and prominent citizens signed it. Was there any backlash from that personally that you
No,
experienced?
the only backlash was favorable. I think everybody appreciated it, and it for the first time, those people, you could go read the names, and you saw the names of the people that were making the public statement that we believe in equal rights for everyone. And we wanted this business of it was civil unrest is where they were breaking the law, doing things like that. And we wanted it to stop, and it did.
What he's talking about is called the Statement of Principles.
Yeah.
And there was 650 people that signed it. It's still on the website as a PDF through Tom Legacy's.
Well, and my question was, Jackie, did the black community feel like the black community felt about that statement of principles? Do you, whenever you think of the statement of principles, is your feeling the same as Dr. Brock, as that it was the turning point?
Historically, it was a turning point that it happened, but no, because the black community wasn't trusting anything that went on in that.
Black, there were not any blacks who signed it, just come out and
No, it wasn't.
Well,
It wasn't offered.
I was gonna say, were black people even offered an opportunity to sign?
I know it was offered.
So it really was like a peace offer from the black community to the black community.
Did you do that? Peace offering?
Oh, well, yes, it should have been. It should have been a statement saying that we're tired, we want. But you couldn't just break the line and do it. Because I made it while we were trying to get the hospital going. I made a per judgment. I got on a talk radio show, call in. Somebody called in, they said, I wouldn't believe Dr. Ralph Brock on a stack of Bibles. Well, my two girls, my wife, and so forth, I knew we won't hear that. The bad thing is I recognized the man's voice. And I knew who called. I withdrew from the act of participating in the hospital thing for about 3 years. Because I said, it's not worth it to me for my family to have to suffer that kind of an injustice.
Now, why was that person calling you?
They called a radio station.
But why was it? What was his grief or his anger about you? Why was he angry at you?
Well, I made a statement that we needed to have the new hospital, that our other hospitals were behind time, and we needed to get the most modern in town to attract better doctors into town and so on like that. And then people, the public could call the radio station and ask us questions. Well, this one just called in and made a statement. See, I was identified with 2 or 3 of us on the radio program that morning. We was out and answered questions.
Now, was there anything about race in that call? Or was it just this person didn't like you personally?
No, they didn't like the idea of a desegregated hospital.
Oh, so it was about segregation. Oh, I see. So that was the controversy. I understand. So I want to ask you a little question about this, because this is, I think, I'm going to make a statement as well as a question. I apologize, but one of the issues for these teachers is how do you teach in this period? And it's one thing when I talk to teachers from Connecticut about teaching this, they can say whatever they want about Macomb, Mississippi, right? But when you're teaching in Macomb, Mississippi, and you say, all right, I'm going to have all of my students go back and ask their parents or grandparents what they were doing, you might be a little nervous about what might come back. And I think one of the big issues that's gonna be really hard to teach, students wanna make things simple, particularly if it's a right and wrong question. And it's gonna be very easy for the students. They're just gonna think all the white people in Macomb were these just terrible people. And so I guess my curiosity to the teachers and also to you is, I don't mean to defend anybody who did anything in Macomb in 1964, but I'm always suspicious when we as historians look back on the past and feel morally superior to it. We always say, oh, I would have been one of the good guys, I would have been an abolitionist, I would have been, I would have shot Hitler, I would have whatever. So I'm really curious to, how do we communicate to students what it was like to live in that time? So you, for example, just said something the thing that really struck me was you said you recognized that segregation was wrong, but you also were, you think that Mr. Hefner, in having a civil rights worker to his home, had used bad judgment. And so I wonder if I can ask you to reflect more on that, to give us a sense of why that
Not meeting with the man, because he was just trying to be nice to him. He had connection with his family or something. It wasn't a racial meeting, he wasn't in there to try to discuss, he was just trying to be nice to him, have him come have a meal with his house. But I think he didn't realize how much animosity they read. He should have met with him at a neutral place, not bring him in. His home is okay, but that home was in a neighborhood, you see, that was all white. And the so-called white community of it. Now, let me, when my younger daughter was a student, and this was up in 1970, she was a cheerleader. There were five white girl cheerleaders, and there were five black girl cheerleaders. Now, I was the unofficial chauffeur. I took the white five girls to every out-of-town basketball game we went to. The black girls got there, I don't know how they got there, but they needed to get there. When they were at the field, the 10 of them worked together just fine. But there was no social mixing.
Segregated within the desegregated society.
Now, that year too, they bought jackets for the girl cheerleaders. They bought 10 of them. My wife had them stored at our house because she was on mission. But one Friday night, it was as cold as it could be, and now they weren't to get the jacket until the parents paid for it. They had to pay for the jacket. Well, the 5 white jackets had been paid for. Now, the second one of the black jackets had been paid for. So all 10 of them was at my house. Well, my wife said, the heck with it, pay it or anything else, those girls are cold. So she took all 10 jackets out to the field and gave every girl a jacket. And we never, to my knowledge, I don't think the other jackets were paid for. But anyway, everybody got a jacket that night.